Hey guys, this is Coach Anna for Score Points Daily YouTube channel. Um, Thank you for tuning in on this video where I talk about the three main different offenses that are three different little branches of spread offense, and each have their own different strengths. And really, I'm just going to go over all of them because occasionally I get questions, Coach, what's the power spread offense, and then coach, what's the run and shoot offense? I don't get as many air raid questions because that's pretty common these days, I guess. Um, but I'm going to go over them all to give everybody the fair opportunity to hear my thoughts on each three offense. All right. So this is going to be kind of a podcast format almost, but I'm going to give you my thoughts. We're going first with the air raid offense. So I'm not gonna go now. Let me clarify. I'm not gonna go into like intricate details because there are great resources that are better than what I'm providing you today. Um, Namely, there's the Air Raid Certification course by Hal Mummy. I've taken that course. Also, the Run and Shoot Certification course by June Jones and Mouse Davis. I've also taken that course. Both of those are great courses. I definitely do encourage you to get those courses to learn more about these offenses. I'm just going to give you the overview of them. Um, so now the air raid offense. So basically, my thoughts on this is the air raid is kind of like just the complete opposite of the wishbone. Um, it has its own different little intricacies. Um, the big thing is for the air raid is that it's a very limited playbook. Um, it's mainly focused on keeping the play small so that way uh, the kids will be able to remember them and actually execute them. Sounds very familiar to your option type offenses. Keeping it simple, they get a lot of reps at them. Um, Mainly they have like mesh, Y corner, uh, Y stick. I also call that snag. Um, these different little quick plays, four verts, flood, Y cross, etc., etc. You can probably find more resources. And again, I definitely do recommend the Hal Mummy certification course for a full in-depth learning. Um, Basically, the philosophy in the air raid is that it's going to be more focused on progressions. Uh, Basically, all these are kind of focused on progression. You know, uh, as far as what the air raid wants, is that it's going to find and attack the open grass. If you watch any air raid expert, they're going to say, where to find the open grass. So, the philosophy behind the air raid is they're going to have these basic plays or whatever. Um, and they're going to be able to hot route different guys. Okay, this guy sees the open grass, he's going to run a slant. They're basically doing this pre-snap. Some of them could be post-snap, which really gets into a little bit of the run and shoot. But basically, again, this is an offense that the quarterback can have complete control. The philosophy is that the quarterback sees everything that's going on the field better than the coaches do. And being an OC, I definitely could see that because, I don't exactly see everything on the field. Unfortunately, I do the best I can. So, um, air raid's going to be running the progressions, and it's going to be basically taking what the defense gives you. Um, the air raid is perfectly okay throwing 10 passes in the flats for a 6 or 7 yard gain because they see that's their run play. They can also run draws, inside zones, outside zones, just jet sweeps. Um, just keeping the defense honest and so that's basically the air raid. They also like to throw the ball deep, obviously. But it's not as much focused on the coverage. It's just basically going through your progressions and reading the open grass. So, um, next we got the run and shoot. Now this is like the most mystifying offense in the world because apparently there's a lot of people who don't know about it, even though it's been around forever. So this philosophy, so unlike the air raid, so let me go back to the air raid a little bit. Air raid can use a different variety of personnels. Oklahoma uses like a hybrid air raid. They can use H backs, tight ends, etc., etc. Split backs, with 20 personnel. Um, but the run and shoot is very unique because it only utilizes 10 personnel. And, obviously for me, I'm a tight end coach, so that definitely doesn't sound good to me. But, I still think it's a great offense anyway. So they get the four fastest guys, four most athletic guys out on the field. They're going to run circles around you. Regardless, they're going to go beat whoever you got, and they're going to go beat whatever coverage you got. The best way for me to describe the run and shoot, it's basically having six offensive coordinators on the field at once. So all these other ones, you got the offensive coordinator on the sideline, and then your quarterback is going to be the closest thing you got to an OC. Well, imagine the run and shoot. You're going to have the quarterback as the OC, but you're also going to have the five skill players as OCs. So what do I mean by that? Well, these players are going to be really educated and smart on the coverages. So in the run and shoot, they're given basic coverages to read and learn. Before they learn anything else, they're going to learn these basic coverages. They're going to learn if there's a middle safety in the middle of the field. They're going to learn what cover 2 is. They're going to learn what cover 3 is. Learn what man free is. They're going to learn what all these coverages are and learning how to identify them to run basically their choice routes. And I would describe the choice routes, they're almost like a clock. There's one that can go up, and then one you can bend it like a post, and one you can bend it like a dig. One you can curl it down. One you can run it like a corner. It's kind of like a clock, to be honest with you. But basically, what's going to happen is the receiver is going to read what a certain defender is doing. Mainly the safeties. Now, bear with me. It's been a while since I've taken a course, but I'm pretty sure it's safeties. And what they're going to do is read what they do, and they're going to adjust their route off of that, and the quarterback's going to see that as well. And so you're going to have an answer for just about every defense that can come up on the field. Also, another big component for the run and shoot is that they have semi-roll protection, so they roll about a 45-degree angle with their quarterbacks so they can roll left or they can roll right. And then they have, basically their run back is just like a fullback. So think about like your sprint out plays where you're sprinting out. Well, it's kind of like a condensed version of that, but it's basically every play. So you're going to do a semi-roll to the right. The fullback's going to basically keep contained for the quarterback. And basically what the offensive line does is they're going to do basically, I call it pillback protection. So if the offensive line is uncovered, then they're going to peel back to help their other linemen on any type of rush or any blitz situation like that. So it's pretty effective. Their biggest plays, it's kind of like the air raids, but the biggest plays is like the draw play. They don't run very many inside zone. Basically, their two run plays are draws and traps. And that's the thing that I really got into is running the trap plays. But they run them pretty well. They run a little bit more screens. I think, they run more tunnel screens and whatnot. But yeah, that's about it. So basically, it's kind of like, your smart kids offense. If you got kids who are really dedicated to learning offensive schemes or defensive schemes, excuse me, and then just learning how to adjust a route based off of that, this would be a very good offense. And then, for quarterbacks, I mean, the receivers make you right a lot of the time. So it's definitely takes a little bit less pressure off of you having to throw a bunch of receivers open whenever they can adjust their route and be open anyway. So now the last offense I'm going to discuss is obviously, my bread and butter here. I saved the best for last. No, I'm just playing. I love all these offenses equally. Let me just clarify that. But this is the power spread. So if you watch any of my past videos, you'll learn that um, I was a student assistant under Brett Dearman at Arkansas Tech. He actually just took a coaching job, OC job at Middle Tennessee State. Um, but basically, the power spread is basically just, it's kind of, I would describe it more just using heavy personnel while still keeping a three receiver set. Um, and it's basically, think about it kind of like the wing tee, but it's kind of more spread. They have three receivers. So with this offense, you can run a whole bunch of different gap scheme stuff. Now, primarily, I'm the JVOC. We didn't primarily do that very much, but it's also good to run, your inside zone, outside zone. That's primarily what I like to use last year. And again, you can use all different type of gap schemes: power, counter, buck sweep. Um, you can do any type of we can also do speed option or anything like that. Basically, the philosophy behind this is that it's going to keep the defense off balance. Um, they're not going to be able to key where your fullback is going. Excuse me, your H-back. Sorry, I got to use the technical power spread terminology. It's the H-back. But I am the tight ends H-backs coach for Road Valley on varsity, so definitely know a lot about this. So basically, it's just, you can't really key exactly where he's going, and that's the real benefit. Because basically, he's going to be a lead blocker just like he would in a regular I formation. Um, but, I mean, he's kind of not. He kind of just creates either an edge or he kicks somebody out. Sometimes he can lead up like an ISO. And he can do a bunch of different other things if you really have a good athletic receiver. Um, that is the H-back tight end. We had a very good one last year at River Valley, and he was able to do that for us. So, um, basically, that's it. One thing I did want to mention is that in the traditional power spread, it does like utilizing play action to be able to throw the ball deep. That's something I haven't really covered too much in my previous videos. But basically, if you're running this type of offense, you need a pretty good athlete, but also has a cannon. You could just put the ball up and let your receivers run underneath it. Um, again, can use different types of bubble screens. Um, has some short passing capabilities as well. Um, but that's basically it for the power spread. Uh, I would define it more as a formation. I mean, it's kind of like the pistol. When I think of power spread, I think of the twins formation with an H-back, a running back, and then three receiver sets, just 20 personnel. You obviously can mix up any kind of combination. You can add some tight ends, remove some tight ends, go 11 personnel, or 12 personnel, or 21 personnel. But at the same time, I think that the prime, when I think of power spread, I think of it as the H back, running back, and three receiver set. So, um, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Um, Now I'm gonna give you my thoughts, really about all three of these offenses. I would say if you're trying to create an offensive philosophy that's based around adjusting what the defense does, well, trying to keep it simple, keeping it to where you can run a bunch of different things, or excuse me, um, well, you can run a bunch of different things. Let me clarify that, but um, you keep it simple for the kids. Keep the terminology simple. I'd suggest the air raid. If you have a bunch of smart kids who can go out, um, you can practice these routes with, um, maybe not the biggest of kids or whatever, but again, a bunch of smart kids who are dedicated to learning the game, um, and a bunch of smaller kids, I'd recommend probably the run and shoot. And then the power spread, I'll just be perfectly frank and honest with you. I get a lot of people who talk to me about this, and they're kind of like, well, I can't find an H back or tight end. So and so's not tall enough, or so and so's not big enough, blah, blah, blah. The way I see the power spread is that the one thing that you really need in the power spread is an H back. And the philosophy I have for the H back is if you have a linebacker on your roster, then you have an H back. I mean, it's almost like saying that I don't have an offensive line. I don't have a running back. I don't have a linebacker. You can make guys out of anybody. Um, Basically, what you're wanting is somebody who's going to be physical. Um, if he's not the greatest catcher, you can make him closer to a guard. I mean, an offensive lineman. But basically, this is one that's going to be. You can run a bunch of different things, keep it balanced, and that's why I like it. But you also have to have guys who are going to be physical up front. Um, so if you think you're not going to run a bunch of different run plays, I probably wouldn't recommend the power spread. I may try to go for more of a finesse approach, maybe with the air raid. Um, something you can get more athletic guys involved in. Um, but basically, if you have a big offensive line, big athletic offensive line, uh, and a couple of athletes you can put either quarterback or running back, I would recommend the power spread. So, those are my thoughts about each of these three offenses. I'm pretty well adept in them. Like I said, you can go ahead and check out the air raid certification or run and shoot certification. As far as power spread certification, I don't think one exists, but you can always reach out to me at coach_swift81 on Twitter. I know quite a bit about the power spread. Like I said, I kept all my resources and I'd be willing to share them out. So, thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed. Like I said, you can reach out to me on Twitter and look forward to seeing what y'all think about this video. All right, thank you. Y'all have a great day.